Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, the Strongest Wizard, and tonight is indeed Fight Night, and we have ourselves another EB01 match here, our first one technically on the channel, and we have my man iLaw player on the left-hand side rocking out that Queen, as well as Baller on the right, of course, with that Enel. Now, the Enel doesn't really catch me by surprise, but we got a couple of brand new tools in the EB01 set that make this deck just a tad bit better, and the big surprise is Queen, man. If you guys don't remember what this leader does, when you have a total of 4 life / cards in your hand or in your life, and you have an 8 cost character on the board, and you have 1 Dawn attached to the character, to the leader, you actually, when attacking, get to recover 1 life, or you can draw a card, essentially. So either one. So you have to have a total of 4 cards in the combination of your life and your hand. So you could have 3 life and then 1 card in your hand, or 3 cards in your hand and 1 life. As long as you have an 8 cost character and you're attaching 1 Dawn to that leader and swinging, you're actually able to recover 1. So it's actually pretty nasty, and we're gonna go ahead and see exactly the sauce here. And this isn't just round 1 here at DXN, this is like round 4, I believe, so right before finals. So whoever wins this does end up going to finals. And as you can see over here, iLaw player is already at 2 life, 2 ballers, 3. And guys, this you just saw the pudding come down. The pudding is extremely nasty against this matchup. Enel had a huge amount of cards in their hand, and seeing them going down to 5 is extremely pretty brutal. Now, we do have the Kiko on board, but we are going to go ahead and place that 2 cost blocker. Now, it kind of works a little bit like Dofi, where you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you get to reorganize them in any order, leave them at the top or the bottom. Now, the only reason why you probably like this over the Dofi is that it's 2 cost only, so it requires a little bit less commitment here. But we are going to go ahead and pass the turn, not applying any pressure at all. We're going to swing 6k into life. We're going to block it with that 2 cost blocker. And are we going to go ahead and see maybe a bigger character come onto the board? We're swinging an easy 5. That's a 1k counter. And then now we're swinging 7k with that 7 cost Enel. Now you do have to do quite a bit of math, just a little bit of planning for making sure that you hit your sequencing right with the Queen. So as long as you get some practice, and it's kind of easy to eventually get it off, but it looks like we might end up taking this life. It's either that or 2 cards out of hand, or we can block. I mean, we have 2 blockers on the board still, right? So this is definitely a couple options that iLaw player does have. So it looks like we are probably going to go ahead and pitch 2 cards from the hand, and yes, we're going to give him the 0 cost event card, as well as the X-Drake, which of course is 3k counter. Now, from my amazing vision here, we do have 4 cards in hand and 2 life. So unfortunately, we're unable to use the ability, nor do we have an 8 cost body on the board just yet, but it is a bit of a slow burn with this deck, and I know this matchup in general, man, it's pretty it can really get dragged out for a very long time. So we are going to go ahead and swing 8k here, 8k into the Giku. This is just a 2k above it, but we're going to let it go, and we're going to recover 1 since our opponent is at 2 life. And now Baller is back at 4. We drop the X-Drake doing another thing that all the other blockers do, which we get to look at the top 5 this time. We get to reorganize and then put it to the top or the bottom. Now, leaving the 5 on the top, and we're going to go ahead and pass. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and restand, of course. And it looks like we see the reject popping the 5 cost blocker. We want nothing to do with that blocker. And now we throw the Gadatsu to get rid of the 2 cost blocker. This is pretty huge here, removing a couple bodies pretty easily, pretty efficiently. So now with this swing here, possibly iLaw player going to 0 here, we actually end up blocking instead. So now with that Gadatsu on the board, it does pose a bit of a threat, but now we see the Sanji coming into play. Sanji is going to go ahead and pop, of course, Gadatsu, since there is 5 life on the board, and we finally see the Yamato ability here, getting himself going back to 2 life. Now, you do like to see this, and you kind of don't, just if you're an iLaw player here, because you have a total of 6 cards in combination in your life in your hand, and you want to get down to 4, but we do swing, and we have the Boa Hancock trigger, which is our only blocker. Now that was extremely huge here. I don't know exactly how much counter Eyelaw player has in hand, but the 6k swing isn't go ahead and get blocked. If he would have taken it, he might have been able to swing with another rusher if he has it. Enel is right now playing a lot of rush characters, cards like Ace, as well as the 7 cost Enel, so it's pretty nasty. And now we have a crazy 9 Dawn turn here. Well, he's at 10 Dawn, but that's 9 Dawn. We're gonna drop the Kiku as well as the Ace, and because we're not gonna go ahead and attack, we just drop them both at the same time. And now we see the 7 cost event card that's gonna bottom deck both of those characters. Really nasty. An incredible turn here for Eyelaw player, and we have 4 cards in hand and we have 1 life, so we need to have 1 card on the board in order to use our Queen ability. Now we might just not have the Dawn for it, so we're swinging 9k into the Enel. We're gonna go ahead and use the ability on the second attack, and now we see the Dofi here searching or looking at the top 5, reorganizing, and because we didn't have enough Dawn, guys, unfortunately we're able to recover 1. Now this is a huge misstep, or a huge issue, a bit of a terrible situation for LL player, because if he's able to maybe rest the Dofi or have just 2 more swings other than this 7k swing, it can look kind of scary. So we have the Katakuri actually unfortunately not letting him recover a card, or putting his Enel back, right? So this is a pretty big deal, just because now we were unable to apply any pressure, and now we have another 9 cost Yamato on the board with 2 life and 2 cards in hand. 3 cards in hand. We're also unable to recover once again. So this is a bit of a tricky turn here, and Baller is finally committing with a 9k swing. It connects, and we see the beige, and this is a pretty rough situation here. But we do have the 8 cost Katakuri to bounce it right back to the top of your life. Now I know what you're thinking, guys. Why would you ever do that? You just put an 8 cost character back on the board. Well, Baller kind of wants Eyelaw player to swing into him so that he can take more of his life. Enel really doesn't see much of a benefit with his ability until he's at 1 life, right? And now we see the spicy Aramaki here. Yes, Aramaki swinging 7k into life, recovering 1, and swinging 9k into life. It connects, dropping down to 2, followed by another 9k swing. We're finally at 1 life, and we're gonna go ahead and pass the turn. Now, if you don't know what Aramaki does, he's an 8 cost AK blocker. Activate main once per turn. You can trash a card from your hand and place 1 character with a cost of 2 or less to the bottom, and then this character gains a plus 3k. I know what you're thinking. Not really useful. Well, actually kind of is, because whenever you need to pitch cards out of your hand with Queen, it kind of comes in handy. So we see a 7k swing here, and that's going to go ahead and we're going to see the counter. And do we have another rush character? No, but we finally have the Katakuri. Katakuri putting Aramaki to the bottom. Kind of really only his actually only target. Yeah, unfortunately, Katakuri can't put a 9 cost back on top, so we are still playing blockers, y'all. We see another 3 cost Dofi. And if you thought this match was over, not yet, guys. It's not yet. We are playing it Queen style, nice and slow. We have 1 card in hand, 2 in live. That means when we swing right now, we're able to recover once more. The question is, how much Dawn do we want to commit? We're swinging 6k, we're recovering 1. We're going to see a 2k counter. We're swinging 9k into the Enel character. This is 2k above the 7k. This is 2 cards out of Baller's hand if he wants to let this go. Now, the hard part is that he's got so many attackers, man. So yes, we swing 9k into 7 once again, using ability here to recover 1, swinging 9k over the Enel. It finally goes down, and now we see the red rock to bottom deck the character. And with now only 1 Katakuri on the board, this is looking kind of scary. We're swinging a 15 into the Sanji, and now 8k into life. He takes it, dropping down to 2 life, 2 cards in hand, 2 9 cost spotters on the board, as well as the blocker. Now I'm imagining we're probably going to kill him slowly, kill him with kindness, essentially, getting rid of that 8 cost Katakuri. This is a 15k swing into the Katakuri, and we're going to pass the turn. Guys, please end this, man. The agony. 15k swing does connect, dropping down to 4 life, not even blocking with the 3 cost Dofi, because why should we? We're going to go ahead and play the 2 cost character. I know what you guys are thinking. Why are we still not going for life? Well, My man ILO player wants to make sure he seals the deal, right? We are going to go ahead and swing, looks like 7k into life. Yes, 7k into life with the pudding, followed by a 9k swing. It does connect, and we have the Satori trigger and for the giggles, and now we see a huge swing connecting. ILO player does take it. Thank you guys so much for checking out this channel. This video, I really appreciate it, and stay tuned because I have a ton of new EB01 content coming out soon. See ya.